Let's also touch on coding stripes. So to show you coding stripes, we will need the Barbara file open. So come to Sources and double click on the Barbara file. And we will turn on coding stripes for this. Now I can see a bunch of questions coming in. Keep them coming, folks, and what I'll do is when I finish this little section, I'll deal with the questions all in one go rather than starting and stopping. So when Barbara's open, to turn on coding stripes, if you come to the View tab of the ribbon, click on coding stripes, and we'll choose Nodes Most Coding, but you've got lots of other options there. So just coming down, probably about a third of the way is a good place to stop just to show what's going on here. So this is actually showing us which sections of Barbara's document have been coded where. So it's actually telling me this paragraph here is coded at natural environment. This paragraph here is coded at fishing or aquaculture and also economy. So it is a really helpful way for you to be reflecting on or reviewing your coding. I also quite like the coding stripes. If I leave a document midway through the coding process, so I get to the halfway point and I need to finish for the day, rather than making a note as to where I've got up to, I simply return to it the next day, turn on coding stripes, and the point where the stripes stop in the document is the point where I've stopped coding. So they're quite neat for keeping track of your coding progress from that point of view. Now I'll close down Barbara to talk about memos. So we talked about memos in the core skills course for those of you that did that with me. And memos are a place to put your own thoughts and thinking. So reflections that you have on your coding, for example, or alternatively just a list of the tasks that you've completed with your coding and things that you still need to do. So they're quite a simple way of keeping track of your coding from that point of view. Making a memo is as simple as right-clicking in the white space from within the Memos folder. You choose the new memo option, and let's make this a coding memo to help keep track of our progress. Click OK, and that's me got a memo that I can make records of what sort of things I've achieved and what I still need to do. Once again, really simple technique, but you may as well make a note of that within your NVivo project rather than you scribbling it down on a piece of paper that gets lost somewhere on your desk. Now the last technique before I cover the questions that have come in was sets, and I am reasonably sure we didn't do this in the NVivo Core Skills course. I don't usually, and so this might be something that is new to the majority of you. And in terms of what sets are, they're sort of like a pseudo folder. So they're another way of organizing your information. They allow you to keep your nodes and your sources in the original locations that you've saved them, but they give you a sort of second or third way of organizing the files if you need to. Now it's a little bit abstract to explain, so I think what we'll do is I'll show you how this works, and then once we've done that, if people are still unclear as to how these work, you can send me a question to let me know. So we'll close down a coding memo. And so one nice technique for using a set is to create a set for transcripts that you need to code. So coming to the interviews folder here, let's say there were 3 files here that I knew I needed to go through and code. So we'll pick 3. Let's say it's William, Robert, and Dorothy. Now you can pick any 3 files. Once you've created or selected those 3, right-click over top, and there's an option here for Create As, and then Create As Set. We'll call this Transcripts to Code, and click OK. Now, before I show you where that set is, I want to emphasize that these 3 files have not been moved. So they are still in their original location, the interviews folder. But they're also, if I come to collections down the left-hand side, sets is stored within collections, and there is a set here, the one we've just made, transcripts to code. And you can see that those 3 files we selected are sitting here. It's not the items themselves, it's just shortcuts back to those items. So it hasn't moved them from their original location, but we do have them nicely grouped together here. And if you make a set like this, it's really great because when you have coded a particular file, let's say we've coded Dorothy, I can remove her shortcut from that set. It's not going to delete the original item, it's just removed the shortcut from there. So sets are another excellent way for you to keep track of your coding progress.